Hello, my name is Bill Farrell. I've been here at Destination Europe doing a bit of work placement, and I've been working along with this lovely gentleman, Rowan Hand here.
How are you?
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And he interviewed us last week, so now this week I have the chance to turn the tables on him and grill him for some information.
I hope you give me an easy time.
Oh, I realised you.
Yeah, by the way, you've had a great work placement. The week has been great.
Oh, it's been
and it's
great,
flown
yeah.
past, of course.
Yeah, I know.
Going very fast indeed. And you've enjoyed your stay, yeah?
Oh, it's been very good, yeah. It's been nice to meet everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so firstly, Rowan, as we all know, you've been a journalist for your whole life, yeah?
Well, yes, for most of my life,
Yeah.
55 years.
Yeah.
But when I left school, I became an officer in the Navy.
Yeah.
I was in the Merchant Navy, travelling the world. Came ashore, and when I came ashore, I had a choice to make between joining the London Police, which I was accepted into, or to go to the Frontier Sentinel, a local newspaper in Uri. I chose the Frontier Sentinel, and from there I went to, took some time off at the time of a war in Africa, and worked there for Oxfam in Africa. And then after the sabbatical, I came back again and went to the Irish Independent, was the reporter in Belfast, and then from there into RTE, and from there into the BBC, and that's how it's been ever since.
Oh, so you've worked for everybody.
Well, I've been around and dealt with, I was very lucky. You find that you make your own luck by working hard, yeah.
Was there anything that you felt inspired you to become involved in journalism? Any people who you looked up to who were reporters, any kind of thing?
Not really, because when all of this was starting for me, the television was more or less in its infancy, more or less, I say, early days. The icon that I constantly looked up to, however, was a man who was there for all of his life, Alistair Cook. He used to do a letter from America, and he used to speak in a beautiful way, and he told the story by the intonations in his voice, the way he spoke. You can almost see the commas coming out of his mouth when he spaced the words out. Lovely, lovely, lovely storyteller. And I think I would have been inspired by Alistair Cook in his letters from America. The other thing that inspired me over the years in storytelling was the Sunday Miscellany on RTE. That was constantly good fun to listen to.
Yeah. So a bit like an early version of Rowan's Rambles.
You've seen that in the paper, yeah. Those have been going for 15 years now.
Oh, but they're very interesting. Like, I mean, like, you describe everything so well. Sometimes you feel like when you're describing when you're in, like, Spain, so we almost feel like you're there because you describe it so well.
Well, I think I remember someone saying to me once about writing, "Young man, in your writing, stand naked as a Grecian statue. Cut, 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 and cut again. Cut everything out that you don't need."
Yeah.
So that focuses me on the idea of using words to their very best effect. If I use that word and you say to me, "Why did you use that word?" I need to be able to tell you why I used it. It's not enough for me to say, well, it's there because, well, I don't really know. I need to say, I use that word because it captures the sound of the wind and the warmth the warmth of the breeze in the evening air or whatever. I need to have answers. If I write anything down, I need to be able to stand over it to my editor and say, I put that there because it's necessary, and that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, anyways, you were saying you've been to so many places. Have you been anywhere else apart from Africa?
Africa, India, America, and I suppose it still is America. Texas, part of America, of course it is, but they think they're bigger than America. Yeah. Texas, the Middle East, the Far East, Hong Kong, Singapore, Formosa, Bangkok in Thailand. It wasn't Thailand then, it was called Siam when I went there. So the world has been very kind to me. I've traveled a lot.
Which of these places do you feel enchanted you the most? Which did you enjoy being at? Enchanted
is an interesting word. I can tell you of an experience that enchanted me. When I was going to sea for the first time, I was on board the steam vessel, the Ben Doran. It was a passenger cargo ship going out from the Pool of London to the Far East. And when we entered, the two things I remember: the daytime entrance to the Mediterranean Sea, we came round the corner at Gibraltar into the Mediterranean, and there was the blue sky over the Sierra Nevada mountains, all of which were snow-capped. So here we had the snow-capped mountains of the Sierra Nevadas with the blue sky of Spain above. We continued on through the Mediterranean, and then at night time we approached the Suez Canal. And when you approach the Suez Canal on the eastern end of the Mediterranean, the little port that welcomes you there is Port Said, that's what it's called. And I remember so well, just in the darkness of the night as we were plugging along on the boat, we're seeing the hint of light starting to grow in the darkness, a kind of a glow. You almost think there were fires lit. You could see this growing orange in the sky, but it's hardly there at all, but you sensed it was there. And a different smell began to come from the land. No longer was it the smell of the ocean, it was the smell of the land coming out across the ocean. And I remember as we came closer and closer, the loom of the glow became individual pinpricks of orange light in a necklace around the shore. And then we came in and tied up in Port Said. And the following morning, getting up and going on deck and seeing the camels going past, seeing the men of Arabia in their julabas, seeing the trading going on in the little stalls, and hearing the noise of Egypt and the music of Egypt. And the trading of Egypt, it was all there. That made a big impact on me.
Oh, well, that definitely must have been such a magical experience. I mean, you're on the sea woman, next minute you're beholding this enchanted, romantic land.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Something a fellow, an 18-year-old out of Newry, had never seen in his life before. It was a new experience for me.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? I suppose when you look at journalism back then, when it was all about the news and all, and like people want to know what was going on, and then you compare it to today, where people are more interested in finding out what Kim Kardashian's having for breakfast. Do you feel journalism has changed at all?
Yeah, well, no, proper journalism hasn't. You see, that person you mentioned, whatever she has for breakfast, is it a he or a she you're talking about?
It's a she.
She. Well, one doesn't care about that. It's an irrelevance. Yeah. News is about the things that affect your life.
Absolutely.
And once upon a time, drama, and we're going to that area, drama copied life.
Absolutely.
Now, life copies drama. And people live out their lives in large measures of unhappiness based on what they see in the soap operas.
Absolutely.
I'm very, very glad to tell you, Bill, I am a soap opera free zone. Now, journalism at its best is bringing people the unadorned news that has an effect on their lives. I have no right to have any opinion. If I have a political opinion, which I do not, because I despise politics and politicians largely, I leave my politics outside the door of the studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I'm going home again, I pick them up. But in studio, when I'm talking to the greatest murderer in history or the greatest saint in history, I've got to give each of them their chance.
Absolutely. I suppose you were saying, like, I suppose with politics, you never like, so many politicians promise the country's progress and poverty will end, and yet 3 years later, there's still all this trouble, and the politicians are living it up in their expensive apartments with swimming pools.
Well, some of them have those, all right. Not all of them have those, but I understand what you're saying. They do all right for themselves. Yep. They do.
Yeah, and just to finish off, is there any advice you would give to people who are interested in going into your area, like of journalism?
Yeah, I think really it's tough. That's the first thing to say. Yeah. You need to be very, very good at what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You need to make sure you've got it well tuned and at it and be there. Keep going. Don't stop. Do not be put off. You'll have many days where you'll have a cup of OXO for your dinner. You'll be poor. But you'll have also all the days that you'll be rich. And it's the richness doesn't come from the money in the bank. It comes from a contentment in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So keep doing it. Keep trying. Give it your best shot. Always. You're going to be a journalist, are you?
Maybe, I don't know yet.
Yeah, you're going to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, well, I might break into a bit of media here and there.
Yeah.
You never know. Keep the options open.
Yeah. Well, you need to be focused now and find out and continue to make your contacts.
Absolutely, yeah. Anyway, Rowan, thank you very much for speaking.
It's been good talking to you. Thank you very much indeed, Bill Farrell.
Thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Good day.